Oh, hello. I don't want to spend too long on this video, to be honest with you, because it's actually a nice day outside. I'm going to spend it very shortly listening to some tunes, reading some music magazines and having a Bacardi and Coke and Ice, because it's a bank holiday Monday and I'm off. No driving for me today. Anyway, this is just a very quick video with no expense spared in trying to demonstrate this whole thing about the funding to Thailand. The reason why I brought this up yet again is because it got brought up in that sort of infamous Andrew Gold video, whereupon yet again he reiterated that no Patreon funds was used to finance the trip of Thai adventures with Little Lloyd, and we all know that's complete bollocks. Even Tibor, gracious Tibor the monkey, he even said that he hasn't seen any proof that it was. Well, it's bizarre, Tibor, because I've not had any proof yet that there is a dark side of the moon, apart from a Pink Floyd album, and apparently there is a dark side of the moon, but I've not seen it. Just because you haven't seen something, it doesn't mean it doesn't really exist. And I doubt whether the organ grinder has yet said to Tibor, gracious Tibor the monkey, and says, there's all my bank statements, there's my credit card statements, and there you go, there's conclusive proof that none of the money that came from Patreon went to fund Thai adventures with Little Lloyd. Now the thing about it is, of course, as far as I'm aware, there are only 4 streams of income that the organ grinder has. Number one is he has his massive book sales. I'm being ironic there. Also his shit merchandising, such as those Tibor is Gracious t-shirts, the hello there Lloyd Evans sort of face t-shirt thing. Then there's the one where he goes roll the first clip, and that one as well. And I don't think there's a lot of sales with those. The reason being because he obviously, you know, the organ grinder's extensively travelled the planet. He's been to America and obviously Thailand and other places too. And I don't think he's yet bumped into anybody who's wearing a t-shirt with his big fat face on it. I don't think that's happened, because I'm sure if it was, I'm sure he'd have to say, oh, hold on a second, I need to just capture this moment and put it up on my last video. So I don't think the merchandising sales have been that big, to be honest with you. I think they've dropped. I would have thought who's buying that book? Is buying any of those books anymore? I'm sure they're waiting for the 3rd instalment, which I'd love to read myself, but I probably wouldn't, because it's probably full of a pack of lies, as most of as anything has come out with since Kim Sil-yo dropped the bomb. So only 4 sources as income as far as we're aware. He doesn't have another job. He's been sponging off his in-laws for many years. He clearly doesn't pay a mortgage or a rent like most of us do. He may contribute something to the electricity funds, may help to grow some juicy, ripe, firm red tomatoes, and that's about it. So in other words, his sole income is through those 4 sources I've mentioned. And on a previous Andrew Gold video, I think was only last year, but forgive me if I've got that wrong, that I can't be bothered going to check these facts. Andrew asked him, how are you managing to live? And he said without Patreon, he couldn't. So now sort of the organ grinder sort of backtracking that, saying, oh, Patreon isn't his main sort of thing. And well, we all know it is, because his YouTube views have definitely dropped, as his Patreon payments have, obviously as well. But you get paid, I think, about £3 for 1,000 views. So if you get, I think, maybe about £30 for 10,000 views, and looking at his video views recently, they're only about 10, 15. I reckon he's only bringing in, if you put 3 videos a week, he's only bringing in about £100, I would have thought, revenue on his videos per week. So I still think that the majority of the money was through Patreon, which is why he's doing his best to sort of say that Patreon funding never funded the adventures to Thailand with Little Lloyd, because that would be him really out of pocket, and poor Tibor, the monkey, he'd get even less nuts than obviously he is at the moment. I think I've had it qualified since that Tibor isn't an ex-Jehovah's Witness, and obviously he's quite happy with the arrangement. Who's going to obviously, because he probably relies on the organ grinders, funding, who's going to dob his own boss in? He's not going to dob his own boss in, which is why he said, oh, lay off the organ grinder, oh, because he doesn't want to all of a sudden lose the income from the organ grinder through Patreon and from YouTube revenue. So I'm going to demonstrate this. I haven't practiced this, so this may go all horribly wrong, by the way, but anyway, I've just separated using Monopoly money. Anyway, I've got the force. I'm just going to show how this doesn't work. So first we have one jar which says there massive book, just say massive book sales. I'm being ironic obviously. And in here I've got 20, this is Monopoly money, it's not real money because I don't have a lot of money. So I've got £25 notes in Monopoly money. So they're going in that jar there. That wasn't a magic trick. Moving on to the next one, here yours is shit, t-shirts, mugs, etc. So this is all the income from his merchandising. Now, I probably think there's more coming in from his book sales because who's buying those books anymore? And so I've put in 2020. So they're going in that jar there. So on this other jar here, I've got YouTube. I don't think it's spelled YouTube that way. I know you don't. So YouTube. And in there, because I think it's his really secondary source of income, I've put in 2050 notes in there, and then we come on to the main source of income, which is Patreon. Patreon, I still believe is his main source of income, despite him saying it isn't. And so I've doubled up on the YouTube income, and I've put in 20 £100 notes. Now, I think he's got one bank account. I don't think he's got 4 separate bank accounts for the 4 sources of income. So I only believe he only has one bank account in all probability. And so I've got the bank account here. This is a big pot. And as you can see on the bank account there, I've written, I forgot what I did now, I've written bank account, organ grinder, and sadly I ran out of any more space for Little Lloyd. So I've tried to draw just there a little picture of Little Lloyd. It may even be true to scale, I don't really know. So what we're going to do now is let's pretend this is the bank account. So we're going to firstly take all the money for the massive book sales. That's going there first. There we go. So that's the 20 of those. Then we're going to take next is YouTube. There we go next. There we go. YouTube's next. Then we're going for shit, t-shirts, mugs, masturbation pillows, that sort of shite. That's going in there now as well. There we go. And finally, Patreon funding, all this patrons pay that, so that's going there as well. And so that's it. So what we're going to mix up, just pretend this is a bank. We're going to mix it, and we're going to blindly try and select funding from the bank account of the organ grinder and Little Lloyd to finance the trip to Thailand. Now, first and foremost, you just have to quickly go through some of the things that you need when you go to the trip to Thailand. Quite expensive. I would have thought flights are about 800, easily 800. And there's lots of other add-ins that you must add in when we start to try and find the money in the bank account of the organ grinder and Little Lloyd. For instance, I would have thought when he left, and it was just after Christmas, that's been confirmed by Kim, so so we can put that away. So I don't think his wife said to him, oh, by the way, I'm off said to him, oh, you're off to Thailand now, enjoy yourself scuba diving, it'll be a great break for you, and hopefully you come back refreshed. I don't think she then says, I'll take down the decorations and clear up all the Boxing Day and Christmas Day dishes. You just knock yourself out and I'll drive you to the airport. Somehow, I don't think that happened, no probability. He just saw his arse and just got into his car and belted off on his own to the airport. So therefore you have to factor in the petrol to take the car to the airport as well, plus it might get hungry on the way, so he stops for a couple of burgers and 5 plates of chips. He gets to the airport, you've got your airport parking as well, so you have to factor into that. Then you've got to get through security, you've got 2 hours wait before you get on the plane, probably get a little bit hungry again, so it's maybe 4 more burgers and maybe 3 plates of chips. So then he's on the plane, all the drinks and all the food is included in the cost of the flight. It's a very, very long flight, it's several hours, I don't know, maybe about 10, something like that. On the way, he'll get allocated different stops for because his plane might have stopped as well to pick up people, and he may have got hungry again, so he might have ordered some additional burgers and chips. So that goes on top of the bill as well. He gets to the airport, of course, and then of course he's got to get his transfer to the resort. So he's got to pay the taxi driver, might get a bit hungry and order from the food stall outside some sort of Thai burgers and chips. Then he gets to his accommodation. There's accommodation that I probably think has already been paid for before he left. I don't know how much accommodation is in Thailand because obviously never been. And then of course you've got all these activities while he was in Thailand. Scuba diving, hiring of the equipment, that's not going to be cheap. We probably did that for several days. A few of the boat trips to see some of the lovely places to see in Thailand, that would have cost a little bit of money as well. More burgers, more chips, and drink and chips and burgers. Sun cream, a massive big bottle of sun cream there, a big floppy hat. What else could he be spending on over there? May have gone to a historical site. I'm sure I'm missing something. What else could he have done over there which we all know about, which costs extra money? Dating a sex worker. Yes, that's right. I don't know if you missed that. I did bring it up in previous videos. Sadly, Andrew Gold, while he was interviewing the organ grinder, missed out the fact that he actually said he dated a sex worker. Now, how did that work exactly? Did he ask parental permission first? You know, some countries you have to do that. Can I date your daughter? Where did they meet? Did they meet scuba diving? Did they go to the pictures? How many meals did he take her out with her first? Tips, condoms, don't forget the condoms in especially teeny weeny Little Lloyd size, and then of course the consensual free sex because he was dating this girl. Now the reason why there's no of course that's free, so he hasn't had to pay for that. But the only reason why I think he said he was dating a sex worker when quizzed about whether the women over there have potentially been trafficked is because it sounds more honourable. It sounds more honourable to say that while I was over there I did not pay a prostitute for sex who potentially was somebody who'd been sex trafficked and may have been forced to be a prostitute as a minor and has a miserable existence, and I've just you know, made it worse for her. But actually saying that he dated a sex worker means it's more all above board. Of course, we know that he asked the Lloydites on his Twitter account to look at the video. So when he says, oh, I dated a sex worker, it sounds, oh well, what a gentleman. What an honourable gentleman the organ grinder really is. He never paid for sex, so we can never say that when he was over there he actually paid for sex, because he dated the sex worker, and obviously she never charged him for the consensual sex that they had. Otherwise, depending on what he's really into, it may have cost even more money. I think you and I and everybody else who's got half a brain out there knows that this was a lot of pish, and he was not dating a sex worker. I'm sure at the end of the day, a lot of those women over there have very little free times. I'm sure dating pundits is not encouraged by the people who obviously control a lot of the women over there, and I would have thought that he would have had to still pay for her company. I just think it's a complete lot of pish to sort of minimise what he actually did over there, which he actually involved himself in criminal activity. To actually say I was dating a sex worker means that he never took part in criminal activity, when we know that, you know, using the services of a prostitute in most countries, including Thailand, is illegal. But that's why he always gets on the, I never did anything wrong. Well, we're not buying that one. So anyway, let's go over to the pot, over to the bank account of the organ grinder and Little Lloyd over here. So I'm going to so I'm thinking probably around about 2,000. So I'm just going to pull out, I'm not looking here, so I'm definitely not cheating. So this is the way this must have come down. So now the organ grinder with the funding from his 4 streams of income, because he doesn't have another job, he's a lazy bastard. So what I'm going to do is do this right now, and I'm going to make a withdrawal method. You know, apparently it's quite safe, the withdrawal method. So I'm going to practice the withdrawal method right now, and so we're going to withdraw, and let's see what comes. So I'm going to grab a handful here, and let's see what we've got. So definitely not cheating, and there should be no £100 in my hand. If there is any £100 in my hand right now, it means him saying that none of the funding from Patreon is used to pay for the further adventures of Little Lloyd in Thailand and his Thai adventures. It shows he was talking piss. So if you see any £100 in my hand right now, I can confirm he's talking piss. So I've got here first. Oh dear dear. That looks like money from the Patreon account. 100. What's the next one? It's another one. That's 200. Oh, hold on. We've got with the 20s. Where did they come from? Oh, shit merchandise. We've got shit merchandise. I think that was from. What was that? Or was that from the shit book sales? I can't remember. Anyway, we'll put that there. Oh, what have we got again? Oh, we've got another £100 here. So that's the Patreon money again. We've got the £5. Oh no, that was the book sales. That was the book sales. So the other one was the shit merchandise. Got another 50 here. So that was, what was the 50? That was the YouTube. So we've got some YouTube avenue income from there. Another 50. That's YouTube again. Oh, got another 100 here. So that's Patreon again. Patreon 50. YouTubies. Shit book sales. YouTube. Shit merchandise, Tibor is gracious, more of this. Wow, he's done well with this. We got another 20, another 20, another 20. We've got a lot of 20s here, never mix these up. Another 20, another 20, and another 20. Oh dear. Patreon money, another 100, another Patreon money, Patreon money. It's very, very little YouTube money. Patreon money, oh, Patreon money, oh dear. Oh, there we go, YouTube, shit book sales, oh, Patreon money, oh, here we go, Patreon money. Patreon money. So let's just quickly add that. I think it's going to be about 2,000. So let's quickly add this very, very quickly. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's £1,000. It's all Patreon money. Oh, then we've got another 100, 200, 300, 400. This all Patreon money. 500, 600. Oh dear. Now what? No, oh dear. 700. Oh, that looks about 100. 800, oh, there's another 100, Patreon money 900, and there we go. That's near enough the 2,000 for the whole trip, because of course he's got to afford, you know, he's got to transfer back to the airport, more burgers, more chips, back to the airport, more burgers and chips, and then on his way home. So that's it. I'm disposing, that's a safe place to dispose of all Little Lloyd's condoms, and of course he'd have had to take a COVID test, and on his return he may have taken a sexually transmitted disease test as well. So just a very simple way, I told you it wouldn't take long this, to just confirm the utter nonsense that when you mix up the 4 avenue streams and you put them into a big pot called the bank account of the organ grinder and Little Lloyd, that there's no way that you cannot, when you make a safe withdrawal from the pot there, that you do not use funds paid by patrons who get a Patreon account who gave money to the organ grinder to churn out more material in relating to activism. Instead, some of those funds, definitely I would have thought the majority of the funds, according to that wonderful demonstration there, were clearly used to finance the trip for the Thai adventures of Little Lloyd. So let that be let that be the final word on it. Anyway, I'm going to go outside now. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your bank holiday Monday. I'm going to make myself a nice Bacardian coat now with some ice. Anyway, oh dear. Bye bye.